Terrance Allen Crawford, born September 28, 1987, also known as Bud, growing up in the heartland of America in the tough neighborhoods of Omaha, Nebraska. This wasn't a backdrop for easy dreams. This was a proving ground where only the most resilient survive. The North Omaha neighborhood that raised him was one of grit, where the streets demanded toughness and discipline, traits that would soon define his fighting style. Terrence was the youngest of three, and his foundation was built by his mother, Debbie Crawford. She saw the world her son was growing up in, and she had one goal: make him tough. The legendary stories, they are true. Debbie would pay local kids, literally pay them, to challenge him, sometimes even to beat him up.
He did good because he was around here beating up everybody in the neighborhood. I paid the kids, I said, if y'all can whoop Bud, I give y'all $10 a piece. Could none whoop him.
You went out on
That early hardship forged the resilience that defines him today. He was already known for getting into physical altercations around the neighborhood, being kicked out of 5 different schools by the time he was a teenager for fighting. This aggression, fueled by a difficult home life, needed an outlet. His grandfather, father, and uncles had all trained at the CW Boxing Club in North Omaha. The gym owner, who was also his neighbor, recognized the fire in young Terrence. He urged the 7-year-old to join, offering him a place to channel that volatile energy. Boxing became more than a sport. It was solace. The ring was the one place where his anger and fighting instinct were not only allowed but honed into a deadly skill. Terrence laced up his first pair of gloves, and from that day on, it became an obsession. He wasn't just good, he was exceptional. By 18, he was a decorated amateur, amassing over 70 bouts and beating future world champions like Mickey and Danny Garcia. The crucial moment came during the 2008 Olympic trials, where a loss to Saddam Ali thwarted his Olympic dream. Crawford later admitted that some of his amateur losses were simply due to bad cardio and poor endurance. He promised himself then and there that he would never lose a fight again because he was too tired.
and I done lost fights as an amateur for not being prepared, not being in shape, and they just outworked me. I remember, you know what I mean, going to the corner out of shape, and I'm like, man, this dude, he couldn't fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
He was just better conditioned.
he just punching. And I'm out there trying to knock him out, winging and stuff, and I'm just like, man, I don't never want to feel that feeling ever again in life.
That commitment to conditioning became a core part of his pro identity. Every legend has a master. For Crawford, it was Brian "Bo Mac" McIntyre. Their bond runs deep. They are both products of the North Omaha neighborhood, where they grew up just blocks apart. Bo Mac, a former professional boxer, first met a young Terrence at the local gym, and their relationship evolved from mentor to a lifelong partnership. Bo Mac is still his trainer to this day. They are family, a team built on mutual trust and shared roots in the heartland. What makes Crawford virtually unsolvable? His ability to switch hit, effortlessly deadly. He developed it, a strategic weapon forged in countless sparring rounds. This ability wasn't accidental. It was born of necessity. Early in his career, he broke his hand from fighting in school, so then he started to practice more on his left hand. Eventually, his left hand became as strong as his right.
They were talking about it in the broadcast. They said that when you were a kid, you hurt your hand.
That's when I started actually practicing it. That was something that when I had the cast on, I was like, man, I love the gym so much. I'm like, man, I'm not leaving the gym. Like when my hand got messed up, I started working on the left and it started getting stronger and stronger, getting more accurate. It just got to a point where my left was actually way stronger than my right, so I had to get my right back stronger.
Crawford decided to teach himself to fight from the opposite stance on the fly. He quickly mastered it, recognizing the incredible tactical advantage it offered. It allows him to change the angles and rhythm of the fight in an instant, making the stance switch the ultimate chess move, a self-taught strategic weapon. But greatness isn't without fire. In 2008, tragedy struck. Sitting in his car after a sparring session, a stray bullet meant for someone else hit his head. Miraculously, he survived. This moment could have broken him, but it did the opposite. It became the fuel. From that day on, Crawford's focus was absolute. He had been given a second chance, and he would leave nothing to chance in the ring. In 2014, he traveled to Glasgow, Scotland, to challenge Ricky Burns in his hostile home territory for the WBO lightweight title. Crawford won a commanding, unanimous decision. He still often refers to this victory as his best professional win, not for the money or fame, but for the sheer grit required to travel overseas, dethrone a champion, and achieve his boyhood dream for the very first time. As he moved up, especially into the welterweight division, his dominance created a problem. The division was stacked. Names like Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and Yordenis Ugas were all active and holding belts, yet the biggest fight simply wouldn't materialize. This wasn't about ability. It was about boxing politics and promotional divides. This forced him into a pattern of inactivity, often fighting only once a year after 2019. His reputation as a switch-hitting killer made him a high-risk, low-reward proposition. For years, the boxing public was denied the fights they wanted most. But eventually, the pressure became too great. Then came the fight everyone demanded, Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr., a showdown of undefeated welterweight kings. Crawford didn't just win, he put on a clinical masterclass. He battered Spence, landing the decisive blows in the 9th round for the TKO victory, securing the undisputed welterweight crown. This was arguably the most highly anticipated fight of the decade, a true 50-50 clash where both men were undefeated. Heading into the bout, Errol Spence Jr., being the naturally bigger man, was narrowly favored by most experts and the betting public. But Crawford put on a clinical masterclass, switch hitting with speed and precision, dominating from the opening bell to the decisive 9th round TKO. He became the first man in the four-belt era to achieve undisputed status at welterweight, an iconic, career-defining performance. In keeping with his one-fight-per-year schedule, his next move was a tough test at super welterweight against Israil Madrimov. This was not a cruise. Madrimov was awkward, aggressive, and pushed Bud to the limit in a close, hard-fought battle. Crawford dug deep, showing his veteran grit to secure the unanimous decision and a 4th divisional title. It was the crucial stop needed before targeting boxing's biggest prize. Then came history. In September 2025, he moved up 2 weight classes, a monumental task, to challenge the pound-for-pound icon Canelo Alvarez for the undisputed super middleweight title. Against the odds, with surgical poise and strategic genius, he earned the unanimous decision victory. Terrance Crawford became the first man in boxing history to hold undisputed titles in 3 different weight classes. This feat was so historic, it solidified his status. Today, Crawford stands as the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world, often trading that top spot with his fellow undisputed champion, the heavyweight king Alexander Usyk. The win elevated him in a lot of conversations, some even questioning how a fight between him and Mayweather would pan out. Outside the bright lights, he is a dedicated father of 7. From surviving a bullet on the streets of Omaha to conquering boxing's greatest heights, Terrance "Bud" Crawford's journey is a blueprint for resilience and mastery. It's a testament to the power of a tough upbringing, a deep bond with a mentor, and the refusal to ever be denied. His story isn't just about boxing. It's about conquering adversity, mastering your craft, and proving that greatness is not given. It is earned. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you could drop a like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. Let me know which boxer you want me to cover next.